Cedric Maxwell podcast
is brought to you by Prize Picks and the Game Time app.
All right, we're back with another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. I'm Josue Pavone alongside Cedric Maxwell. We got to talk about this first week for the Boston Celtics, man. They went 2-0, but the ring ceremony at TD Garden, where they raised the 18th banner on opening night. You got to give me all the details, Max. Of course, we'll talk about that, and we'll get your point of view of it. And also, what happened in that game. They tied the NBA record for the most three-pointers in a single game, 29 threes. Is this going to be sort of ongoing talking point throughout the course of the regular season? We'll get into that as well. And finally, just the who's of people who pulled up to the Celtics ceremony, ring ceremony, including Bob Cousy. So you know what? Let's start right there, Max, because you, of course, were part of that ceremony, representing just the Celtic, the 80s Celtics. You know, it's hard to believe that it's only been one other banner. Besides, you know, before Monday night, there was the 2008 championship, and then before that, you know, it's the 80s, right? And of course, you being the representative of that decade. But how special was it to see Bob Cousy back in the building, man? I thought that was the best part of the whole thing, if you ask me.
Cousy was cool. It was really cool seeing there. It was just really kind of weird. He went out on the floor like that with the peace sign, like Dick Nixon. I was like, damn, Cousy, you going like that? And he was in a wheelchair, but he's so cognizant. You know, you think the body probably is failing him a little bit, but mentally it was just as sharp as it could be. Talked to me for a minute. Then Paul came in and Ray came in and Kevin was there. So you had these dignitaries and a bunch of Celtic players were there. And it was just a real cool thing. And they introduced us all before the game. And you know, we walked out on the floor, and then we took a picture with the Tatum and Brown and Horford. Those three were kind of representing the team. So it was just a really cool moment. It was surreal. And to be in the middle of it, it was somebody asked me yesterday, Abby Chin asked me the other day, Max, how was that? I said, you know, I didn't even think about it until it was after it was over, of just walking out on the floor with a packed house. People wanting to sign autographs and wanting, you know, their moment. But and then to see Tatum receive it and Brown and Horford, those guys represent, and then to actually get the rings, man, that was a cool moment. Those rings were like, Josue, they were like this. I mean, they go on your finger like this. This is how big they were. It was just a crazy night of first, and then to play the Knicks, it was again who supposed to be your top opponent, and they slayed the Knicks. They played so well.
Yeah, Knicks weren't ready for that, man. They weren't ready for all that. I mean, look, even going into this game, there were obviously going to be people saying, "Oh, the ceremony and the emotions could really disrupt this team, and you never know what could happen." And nah, not these guys, Max. Not these guys. It was like they were motivated from that. You had Bob Cousy there, who led the Celtics to their very first championship. Like, it was almost as if, like, okay, we're solidified. One, obviously, because the championship is up there to let the world know. But two, like, if you guys think this thing was a fluke last year, you're about to find out right now. And they wasted no time demolishing the New York Knicks.
The curtain was up. The curtain was pulled up, and the actors and the actresses and everybody was there. You know, people in the front row. I think to get in the building, the lower bowl was maybe $1,500 to $2,000 seats were in the building, and so it was just so much excitement. And then to actually to have the ring ceremony, but then to pull the banner up, and then at the end when they were talking to Tatum comes through at the end. He says a few things, and it's like his teammates were goading him on. And then his last statement was, "Let's do it again."
Yes.
Like, damn. I was like, okay. And everybody got pumped up that much more. And the odd thing about it was you go through all that, and then you have to play the game. And the Celtics played as well as could be to win, and then to win convincingly. The only thing I didn't like about it is the fact they had 29 threes.
No, I want to get into it, man.
At the end, they missed the last 13 attempts trying to get to 30. And I was I was one of the few people in there hoping they didn't do it. Because I don't mind the fact if they're going to do it.
But you say it on the radio
just
every minute.
Just generically, every time Sean would be, and there's a 3 in for the, and then Peyton, and it was just like, and these people they were driven by social media because they knew, and every time the guys lined up, they were just going crazy. So when the final, every time they missed, I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then at the end, but if it happened generically, I'd have been cool.
You know, for the season opener, right? We always do this every single year. We do our bold predictions, right? And there's always a few of them you throw in there. Some of them are bold, some of them not so much. And for me, the ones that I posted that wasn't so bold, I predicted the Celtics would not only shatter the record for most threes attempted, which I think the Celtics could get over 70 in this one, but I didn't even think about them beating the record for them tying the record or topping the record for most threes made in a game. Not because I think that they can't do it, but I just think it's way more. It's going to be a lot more criticism when they have one of those games where they're not falling. You get what I'm saying? Because when you have this formula, and when you're playing a team that, let's say, I don't know, the Pistons or maybe one of those bottom feeding teams or whatever. I mean, that wasn't the case Saturday, but sometimes they don't go out there and cover the three the way they should. And sometimes the Celtics are going to be like, okay, you're going to give us these looks, well, we're going to keep taking them. But even if they don't fall, that's Joe Mazzulla's mentality, right? You're not supposed to give up those good looks. He doesn't care if they're not falling. But even Joe had to say, all right, guys, enough is enough, man. We're not going to just keep missing threes out here in this fourth quarter. The hell with the record. We won the game. But I'm glad he did that.
He really didn't. He really didn't. The last 24 seconds, that's when he finally called the dogs off and just held the basketball. So I don't think he called it off. They were reaching for it and they did what they needed to do. And this team teams are going to have to catch up. From the 3-point line. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they do it. The Knicks weren't prepared the other day. Karl Anthony Towns he's going to have to come out and guard Al Horford. I'm not sure how many good looks the Celtics had in that game. I think it was Josh Hart at the end when the reporters came over to him. He said, yo, man, the Celtics need to be drug tested. Because I ain't never seen that like that before.
I thought somebody was exaggerating when they told me that. Come to find out, he did actually say that verbatim.
Yeah, he did say that. And then he said at the end, so he kind of joked it. And then Rick Mahorn was the same way. I said the same. I saw him at Detroit last night, and the Celtics got 3-point happy. They knocked down a bunch of 3-pointers. And then Detroit kind of, battled their way back in. They took the lead at the end, and the Celtics, their experience paid off, and they won. But this is a Celtic team that's going to be shorthanded, for a minute. Porzingis, reports on him right now, he's right now playing some one-on-one. He's already started that. If you watch him out there before the game, he's out shooting threes and, moving well. He's really moving well. So they're going to be cautious and optimistic. But the sooner he comes back, the better the full Monty of this team is going to, and I think it's going to be probably around Christmas, probably at the time they're going to unveil Porzingis again. I think that'll be the case.
Yeah, I would like to see that, Max, because I don't think they're going to try to rush the situation, right? So that's obvious, right? It's kind of stating the obvious there. But two, I don't think even if he's to beat the schedule that they should do that, because you don't really need to put him out there. I mean, it's all about the postseason with this not only this team but with Porzingis in particular. Because it's easy to forget the guy played 3 playoff games last season. Fortunately for the Celtics and their depth, they're able to win without it. And I love how the rest of the talking heads on national media, they love to mention the fact that the other teams that the Celtics faced were shorthanded, but they very rarely mention the fact that there was no Porzingis. You know what I mean? That's a big part of this team.
How about this? Don't let the facts get in the way.
Exactly.
Don't let that happen.
Especially if they don't fit the narrative.
If they don't fit the narrative. A team right now that wasn't playing, they didn't play the toughest teams out there. Well, here's the thing, which is not right. The fact they played the toughest team, they had the best record in the league by almost 8 or 9 games. So that told you how well this team was played. It was just what they were going to do in the playoffs. That's what really counted. And they were able to, get that chip, get it off their back, and this team right now is playing well. So I'm going to love to see how they continue to kind of, play. Joe Mazzulla mentioned Sam Hauser being out for a couple of games. That's changed the rotation and how things are done. So he feels he'd love to have Hauser back in, but they're going to be, they're going to be lineup changes. Derek White made a huge block last night in the game. Same Derek White, still playing that kind of defense. Drew Holiday playing from this point of attack. Tatum and Brown. So just kind of fun thing when you think about how this team is.
Yeah, I love how Derek White's still playing as if he's got to, you know what I mean? Like stick around. He's got to prove himself or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that. Like, that's the approach. Yeah, brand new contract, nice extension, but he just steps his game up more, and that's the reason why you have to make sure these guys are going to stick around for the foreseeable future, and why it's so crazy to think that a lot of these guys are entering their prime after they win the championship. And of course, that also includes Jayson Tatum. What are you seeing out of Tatum right now that's leading to this not only efficient a couple of efficient performances, but dominating stretches, especially
Relaxed
against the Knicks?
The word I say was relaxed.
Okay, still early.
It's like, the pressure of trying to win a championship now is off his back. They've done that. So I would not be surprised at all, and this isn't a bold prediction, but Jayson Tatum is probably going to be the player of the week. He started out these first couple of games, man, on fire, knocking down shots. Last night's game, Pritchard and I think it was Pritchard and Horford had a bunch of points in that game early in the game, knocking down threes. Detroit wasn't able to catch up, and then Detroit got feisty at home, and they got back in it. Cape Cunningham and his crew, Jaden Ivey, they were really good, but the experience of the world champions came through again.
This episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinion into real money all season long on PrizePicks. I got Tyreek Hill this week for more than 97.5 receiving yards and Patrick Mahomes for less than 267.5 passing yards. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to see how this whole season unfolds. It's just getting started, and you kind of alluded to it in the beginning about the 3-point shooting. Do you think there's going to be teams out there trying to replicate what the Celtics are doing right now?
Yeah, it's a copycat league, Josue.
But they don't. Not every team has the weapons.
It's a copycat league. Teams will do that. You think about this. If you play Dallas right now with Klay Thompson being on the floor, doesn't it change what they do as a team when it comes to shooting the basketball? They're going to get up more threes than they've gotten up before because they have that other 3-point shooter. Now, will people try to duplicate it? Some teams aren't going to be able to do that because they just don't have the firepower.
Right.
But if you're one of those top teams, I think that you're going to try to do something. I was a little surprised that Giannis and his team got beat the other day, kind of handily. So early in the season, obviously only 3 games, small sample size, but one of these things where this team, they're the world champions right now, and you can't until somebody takes that away from them. Then and you got some big games. The OKC Thunder looked pretty good on the other side over there. Denver got spanked a couple of times, but then the Lakers have come out the box, jumped out the box. and won some games. So the NBA is alive and well.
I'm sure you thoroughly appreciated that LeBron and Bronny James moment. Got to check in together for the first time.
I'm ready to get it over with, Josue, and just wanted to make me barf. You know, I appreciate what LeBron James has done to the league, has done for this league, and I appreciate, the fact that his son played with him. It's a stellar moment in NBA basketball history.
Right.
He could be around that long, to make that happen. And I think about, guys I played with, and, their sons come after them, and they're now in the league. Gerald Henderson's son came in after he did and played in the league for a while, but I couldn't imagine Gerald Henderson staying in the league that long that his son would be able to come in and play. That's what's so unique about this situation with LeBron. How many guys are going to be playing 20 plus years and still probably be at the top of their game?
If you're JJ Redick, do you go into the season thinking, okay, when am I going to do this? Instead of, should I do this?
No, just doing it, getting it over with.
That's what I think.
And that's what he did.
He did the right thing.
He got it over with as soon. Let the circus get out the way. That's done already. Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., they were at the game. The baseball players and who they father and son played together. So it was a unique moment in history, in the NBA history, when that happened with LeBron James and his son.
Yeah.
Now here's a crazy thing.
I was just going to say about social media.
You're starting to hear a lot right now about Bryce playing. Will he be the next person that will come in? LeBron James' younger son.
He could be.
Will he be a guy that comes in now? That would be crazy.
Max, the youngest is the one that's like a sponge, man. He's absorbing. Okay, don't do that. Okay, but yes, do this. Don't not to say because I'm the baby of my family, but I mean, there's an advantage, right? And you can sort of make sure you don't make the same mistakes. And you never know, 3-4 years from now, depending on how he decides to approach it, because most likely he's not going to be trying to play with his dad. Maybe he takes the right route and does a couple more years of college instead of the way his brother did it.
So are you trying to say that, those ass whoopings that your brother Joel took, you didn't take those?
12 walks so Josue could run, Max. Okay, I had to make sure I didn't make those same mistakes now. That's one way to put it, but okay, all right, Max. Yeah. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I just think he doesn't have that pressure of, I got to make sure I catch up to play alongside my dad.
Yeah,
but it already happened.
But still, the pressure is going to be on him, because now you're going to be compared to your brother. Your father's in the league.
Yeah,
what's the next natural step? I've heard people talking about LeBron, about Bronny, what he was able to do. But now I'm starting to hear people talk about Bryce. Oh, Bryce is a better player. Bryce could do this. Bryce could do that. He's taller. He's bigger. He's faster. So who knows what this LeBron James legacy will do when it comes to the NBA? It didn't happen with Michael Jordan's kid. Didn't happen that way. Yeah. Kobe Bryant had Gigi was this fantastic girl that she played. And so it didn't happen there. Nobody else's son has come in. So it's unique in its own way.
Yeah, but you think Michael would have been the one pulling strings or trying to get, you know what I mean? Let's say hypothetically, even if he was still in the league at the time, like I think he knew enough out of what he saw from his son. I want to say he averaged 6 points his senior year or so, played all 4 years. I mean, just wasn't an NBA player. I just think with this situation, the best thing for the team and everyone involved is just to make sure he goes to the G League, man. Let him get his reps in. Do not force this. Look, social media had me cracking up, Max, because you got Cam Reddish. You got guys on the bench being like, "You playing over me?"
Magic said that. Magic said exactly that. It's like his best thing would be to go to the G League, and Bronny snapped back and said, "Yo, my man, sit back and let the process continue. You don't know what me and my dad, we worked on. So you're talking to one of the greatest Lakers ever to play the game, or one of the greatest players ever play the game, and you're telling him to sit back and chill." So kind of interesting.
Very, man. You think I don't know, man. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it sounds like that boy don't respect his elders, man. Don't respect the legends.
He'll get look. How is he going to do that? Josue, got to respect the legends. His dad is one of them. So I don't think that,
better.
And doing commercials. And I think LeBron had this commercial where he put these Fruity Pebbles or something in his car. And then he drives by, and LeBron is going to the game in a doggone Maybach. And, he's in the back seat. And it's just, it is Hollywood at its best. So, hey, let it keep going there, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Pass me the popcorn for sure. I like the end of that commercial though when he goes, "Yo, Bryce, where your keys at?" Like, I'm taking your car. That was good. It's a special moment, man. But like you said, I just don't know how this thing plays out. Where at the end of the season, we're like, okay, the Lakers did the absolutely right thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't think that happens. You can't force that. It has to happen organically.
It will happen when it happens.
Yeah.
And you'll get a chance to see it. And everybody, here's the thing about it. Everybody is going to unveil itself in front of everyone. We're going to get a chance to see it up close and personal, because in today's NBA, it can't hide. I think they were doing a special today on, and it was talking about the captain. And when I say the captain, people are thinking about Jeter, and what he was able to do. And he said, but Jeter said, man, if cell phones had been around, he said, my career would have been a lot shorter, because it showed him 3 or 4 pictures, him with P. Diddy and hanging out with him and doing this and doing that. And so, that would have been, that could have been a whole nother moment. But cell phones have changed the way, athletes are going to be judged and how they're going to be viewed, because everybody is a reporter these days.
That's funny you mentioned that, because the first thing that crossed my mind when you said that about Jeter was how I don't know if this is true or not, but legend has it when he would have somebody over or a date or someone like that, some kind of that kind of situation, the woman had to drop her phone into a basket the moment she steps into the house. So I believe that quote from Jeter, man, because maybe it was something that you can drop
your phone in the basket, but just wait, you can put all kind of devices on yourself now. If you really
this is like years ago, Max, but like
if you really want to get
have that,
you get a little button on your jacket or a brooch or whatever it is, man. That's producing all kind of information. He was in a great time. That's what we'll say about Derek Jeter. He was in the last of the innocence was there during that time when you kind of do different things and get away with it.
Do you remember ESPN? They did a lineup of his ex-girlfriends. That was wild. They filled a lineup.
Were they fine?
Oh yeah. What was it? One of them is I can't remember. A lot of them this is probably like 20 years or maybe 15 years ago or so. But
he was
back then. They were all the girls
Jeter was the king. He was the king of New York.
Yeah.
He was king of New York. I mean, you could talk about any other athlete. I can't think of any other athlete. Who do we think of any other athlete in New York history that we think about that was like Jeter? You can think about football players, great football players.
Right. I'm thinking like
the Mannings weren't like that. They weren't rolling like that. Basketball players, I remember Patrick Ewing. He wasn't like that.
But not quite like
it was the stature of him, but he wasn't rolling over New York like that. It was Derek Jeter and the fact that they won multiple championships. I think that was the thing. That's the real difference in who he was and what he did and how he rolled in New York City.
Right. I mean, never has to buy a drink or a meal ever. He's the captain for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens in game 2, man. Our boy Ice Cube got things started with a little performance before game 2 at Dodger Stadium. Yo, shout out to Ice Cube. That's a special moment, man, to be performing before a World Series in Dodger Stadium. Exactly.
LA.
That's the stuff. Who you cheering for? I know you don't like baseball like that, but LA.
Look, all I could think about when he walked out on the field was, the day that he saw me walk up on him in the garden. And, the way he was kind of looking around, and he saw me, he said, oh, motherfucking cornbread. I said, damn, that's the way you greet a brother? So yeah, it was a cool moment, surreal moment. So I was happy for the brother, man, that it happened like that.
I'll be honest, there is nothing like taking in a live basketball game, especially in the fourth quarter, down the stretch, being in that atmosphere and seeing it all play out right in front of you. There's nothing like it. And with the basketball season back, there is no other place better than Game Time. That doesn't just have you covered for sports, but any type of concert or other events going on in town, you don't want to miss out with Game Time, especially with their new feature called Game Time Picks. And that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can pick an upcoming game on the app, you can browse through the seats because of Game Time Picks. Super deal gives you the absolute best price around, and you can even customize your spot so you know exactly what to expect ahead of the event. The curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats, and that's my favorite part of the app. Plus, you get the seat views before you buy, lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, which is big, right? Job loss protection, etc. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
And finally, Max, Paul Pierce alongside KG talked about the special night in Boston, talked about you seeing other legends, but named you specifically and how these type of stuff, like it never gets old for these guys to go back to Boston. Of course, Kevin Garnett doesn't go as regularly as Paul has, at least over the past couple of years, but I can't say enough about how great it was to see him or both of those guys with Ray again, man.
Yeah.
And look, I know the first time we saw it was at Garnett's, retirement when they retired his jersey, which was obviously a very special moment because we hadn't seen those three together since they won it, since the trade essentially, right? And with all the beef and all that going on. But I think maybe because of that, it kind of took a little bit away from just how surreal that moment was. But for me, it never gets old to see the three of those guys together, and I hope that happens again, man. Really
yeah, that was a real cool moment. The only thing would have been just as cool for me if some of my ex-teammates had been there, like Robert Parrish, or dare say Larry Bird comes back in the building, one time, or Kevin McHale,
right?
And those were the guys I was representing during the '80s. So it's kind of just a real cool moment to be in that line and to see Ray and to see Kevin working out, still looks slim, like he could play tomorrow. Ray still looks slim now. Paul's ate a little food. Your boy Paul, he done ate a couple of hamburgers or so. He's
enjoying himself.
Even now, Paul Pierce looks like he's lost a little weight, so he really looked good. And it was kind of fun seeing those guys, and the fans just got the hugest kick. Cousy came out first. They were in a wheelchair. I was next, and then I just heard the ovation behind me. And I'm not sure if Ray came out next, and then it was maybe Paul, and then Ticket came out, and the place just went. The place was just going ballistic, and to be out there among those guys was just really cool.
All right, Max. Before we get up out of here, man, I got to ask you because this is something that we talked about. Maybe the first batch of episodes when we first started this podcast, and it's something that I feel like we were going to constantly revisit. So I'm gonna throw it out here right now. Do we see Ray Allen's number retired? Is that something that might happen? Okay,
Absolutely, it should.
Who else, right?
Kevin Garnett said that, and it should happen. Ray, without Ray, they don't win that championship. And they were a big three. That's who they were.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Maybe people now, maybe they've, softened their stance up a little bit because obviously Kevin has, because he embraced Ray. And that moment that they had in the Garden with Ray Allen, that to me opened the door because I'm thinking my thing here is what other NBA franchise is going to retire his jersey?
That's a great point.
Which one? Which one is going to do that?
Miami, I don't know. It's not enough years.
Miami,
not enough years, right?
Not enough years, not
Milwaukee,
enough production. Milwaukee,
didn't get into the finals.
He was great in Milwaukee. Seattle, great in Seattle. But, at the end of the day, he's going to be known for winning the championship. and he won his best championship here. Obviously, the big shot against Miami, but he wasn't among the big three. He was the big three here in Boston. When those guys got together, man, it was just fun to be around them. Just how they carried themselves, how Doc Rivers approached them, and he pretty much said, "Look, guys," he told Rondo and Perk, "Get in where you fit in, and we're gonna do what these guys right here want, and the rest of you guys kind of fit in." And that caused a little controversy at the end with him and Rondo, but it is what it is.
Right. No, for sure, man. I think it's more than, I think, like you said, time heals for sure with what happened with the whole Miami thing. But for Garnett and Pierce to forgive him and all that, and this was years ago, right? Why not? I mean, I can't think of another player that fits the criteria. And if not, Max, the next player might be Jayson Tatum, man, because I can't think of anybody more deserving than Ray Allen.
Yeah, I can't. There is nobody right now.
Right.
There is nobody. I was that odd person for a while that people said, "Man, you played well enough. Your jersey should have been retired." Then that got done, and now Ray Allen is that one person out there that everybody's thinking about. And I hope maybe before Wick and his crew get out of here, maybe they'll do that. Yeah. Maybe they step up. I've said that over and over again. His jersey should be retired. And I know some people, so many jerseys have been retired for the Celtics. Well, when you're the world champions, as many times as the Celtics have been, you deserve to do what you need to do. So
1,000%.
So that was cool. Now before we get out of here, let me give me a shout out to Michael Cooper, who became a Hall of Fame inductee. A bunch of people have asked about it. What do you think? Max, your stats were better than his, and that. Michael Cooper has also solidified himself for being with the Lakers, but also being in the WNBA, where he won multiple championships with them. So I was really happy to see Michael Cooper go in and do what he did, and talk about Pat Riley and Jerry West and all these people who who he has admired for many years.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, man. Congrats to Cooper. Guys, of course, you can check out his podcast under the CLNS Media umbrella if you want to get that, of course, Lakers perspective, because he doesn't, similar to you and your love for the Celtics, he doesn't hide his appreciation for the Los Angeles Lakers. So
I can't wait. I cannot wait to get out there. Probably the next time I'm on this show, maybe by then I'll be able to flash one of those rings in front of you, because I did get measured. So when I get my ring, stay tuned for all our viewers, man. I'm gonna make sure we do the ring ceremony right, and I'll make sure I bring it on. I won't bring
the right measurement. You make sure
I
got
it. I got the right measurements.
What happened to your boy Al?
Yeah, but I'll make sure I don't have I won't bring my watch, my MVP watch. But I did get a chance to talk to Brown, and you'd love this. I hadn't talked to him since he won the MVP.
Right.
So I walked up to him and said, "Man, I just wanted to, give you a shout out, man, and dap you up on being the MVP." And he looked at me and said, "Takes one to know one."
Yo, that's perfect.
Much love for JB.
That's what's up. Yeah, shout out to JB. Shout out to the conversation you had with Stephen A. Smith, man. If you guys haven't checked that out, please watch it. I loved the mutual respect those two had. Just obviously talking about the state your source thing that went out there right before the parade. You had my boy Jalen rocking the shirt, so I love that he was able to explain himself and talk about just that report that Stephen A. put out there, that he wasn't a great teammate from an anonymous source and all that. So yeah, man, I'm so happy for Jalen, obviously going into the season, and everyone, still giving him his flowers and his appreciation for sure, man. Finals MVP, 100%. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. I am Josue Pavone. He is Cedric Maxwell. We'll check you guys out next week. And of course, thanks again for tuning in, and I appreciate all the support and all the love I've been getting, man, ever since I made this switch over here to Oklahoma City. It's different out here, man. I'm still getting used to it.
People ask about you all the time, Josue. Oh, what are we gonna do about your boy Josue? Josue is around. I mean, I did not know that you had it like that, but a lot of people, have missed you, and when you do your homecoming to come back here, it's gonna be pretty exciting.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for sure. But yeah, like I said, I'm good out here, man. I'm gonna be all right. I'm getting used to things out here. Well, I will at least. And it's just the beginning. It's the beginning of the regular season. It's gonna be a very fun, entertaining regular season. And of course, we got nothing but great guests lined up for you guys. It's the Cedric Maxwell podcast. He's Cedric Maxwell. I'm Josue. We'll see you guys next week.
Josue Pavone here, CLNS Media, and if you made it this far, that means you really like this video. So hit subscribe, make sure you keep our notifications on, damn it, and we got plenty of great content coming your way.